The first time Stephanie realized life was not fair, it was because of a plate of jollof rice. It happened on a hot Sunday afternoon inside their small one-room apartment in Ikorodu in Lagos. The ceiling fan was turning slowly like it was tired of life, and the smell of stew had filled the room. Her best friend, Kemi, had just returned from visiting her boyfriend, a rich oil contractor, Michael, who always smelled like money and car air freshener. Kemi dropped the takeaway pack on the table casually like it was nothing. Inside was rice, chicken, and salad. Stephanie's eyes went straight to the chicken. Big, fried, golden, and perfect. But Kemi opened the pack, removed the chicken, and started eating it before even sitting down.
The chicken is so
Stephanie
yummy.
waited. Maybe she would share. Maybe she would say, "Take now." But nothing came. Instead, Kemi said with a mouth full of food, "There's rice there, you can eat that one." That one? Not our food. Not let's share. Just that one. Stephanie forced a smile and sat down. She ate the rice slowly, but every spoon tasted like something bitter. It wasn't the food, it was the feeling. That day, something entered her heart quietly. Not hunger, not yet, but something close to it. A question. Why is it always her? Because Kemi always had something. A better dress, a better phone, or a better life. Even when they both started from the same place, Kemi somehow kept moving forward, while Stephanie stayed behind like a shadow. And the worst part, Kemi wasn't even trying, she was just lucky. Later that evening, Kemi stood in front of their cracked mirror, adjusting her wig and smiling at her phone's camera. "Fine girl," she whispered to herself. Stephanie watched from the bed. Same age, same background, but different story. Very different story. And that night, as she lay down on the thin mattress staring at the ceiling, she whispered something she had never said before. "I don't want to be me anymore." The fan kept turning. Slow, heavy, like it knew something bad had just been born. 3 days later, everything shifted. Kemi received a call that would change both their lives, but in very different ways. Stephanie was washing plates when she heard Kemi scream, "Are you serious? A yacht party?" Stephanie turned quickly. "A what?" Kemi jumped around the room like a child who just won a prize. "Babe, my man is hosting a private yacht party. Billionaires only. All white dress code. Real big boys." Stephanie felt her chest tighten. Yacht, billionaires. That word again. The word that always picked Kemi. Then suddenly, Kemi grabbed her hand. "You're coming with me, oh, Stephanie." Stephanie blinked. "Me?" "Yes, you. You're my best friend now, so you come with me." In that moment, something lit up inside Stephanie. Hope. Real hope. Maybe this was her chance. Maybe this was the day her story would change. She quickly dropped the sponge. "What time are we going?" Kemi smiled. "Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. That night, Stephanie could not sleep. Her mind was racing. What if I meet someone? What if this is my own chance? What if I finally stop being second? But hope, when mixed with desperation, can become something dangerous. The next morning, Stephanie stood in front of the mirror, admiring her face. Not bad, but not enough. Never enough. She turned to Kemi, who was already glowing with excitement. "How did you meet Michael?" Stephanie asked carefully. Kemi shrugged. "At a restaurant. I just went there on a solo date. He saw me. That's all." "That's all?" Stephanie's stomach tightened. So life could just change like that. No struggle, no plan, just luck. She looked at herself again. "No," she whispered. "There must be another way." And that was the moment she made a decision that would open a door she should never have touched. Stephanie did not tell Kemi where she was going. She just said she wanted to run an errand. But her legs knew exactly where they were taking her. Deep inside a quiet street, hidden behind old zinc gates and dry palm trees, there was a place people always talked about in whispers, Mama Ibe's shrine. They said Mama Ibe could change your life, but they also said Nothing she gives comes for free. Stephanie stood outside the gate for a long time. Her heart was beating fast. She almost turned back. Almost. But then, she remembered the chicken, the rice, the billionaires that always choose Kemi. She opened the door slowly. A strong smell hit her nose. Smoke, herbs, something old. Mama Ibe sat inside, her eyes sharp like she could see through skin. You are not here by mistake, the woman said calmly. Stephanie swallowed. I want something. Mama Ibe smiled slightly. Everybody wants something. Stephanie stepped closer. I want men to notice me. Rich men. I want them to choose me, not her. Mama Ibe's expression changed. Her? Yes, my friend, Stephanie said quietly. That one life always favors. Silence filled the room. Then Mama Ibe stood up and walked to a small wooden box. She brought out a tiny bottle. Inside was dark liquid. This is not perfume, she said. It is a call. Stephanie frowned. A call? Yes, anything we desire will answer you. Stephanie's heart skipped. Anything? Mama Ibe looked directly into her eyes. Yes, anything. There was a pause, a heavy one. You must pray it 3 times, Mama Ibe continued. Not 2, not 4, 3. Listen, 3 times. And after that, Mama Ibe's voice dropped. You will be seen. Stephanie smiled slowly. That was all she ever wanted, to be seen. She dropped her last money on the table and took the bottle, without asking the most important question. Seen by who? The yacht was more beautiful than anything Stephanie had ever seen. White light danced on the water. Music floated in the air. Expensive perfume mixed with smell of the sea. Everything felt unreal. For the first time in her life, Stephanie felt like she belonged somewhere important. She wore a white dress she borrowed. Her makeup was simple but clean. Her hair was neat. She looked good. But Kemi looked like she owned the night. Men greeted her, smiled at her, pulled chairs for her. Stephanie felt it again, that feeling that she wasn't fading into the background. Her hand slowly moved into her bag, the bottle. This was her moment. She stepped aside, near the edge of the yacht. Her heart was pounding. 1, she whispered, spraying it slightly. Nothing happened. 2, the air shifted slightly. Then the last spray. 3. Immediately, a strange smell filled the air. Not sweet, not nice. Something heavy, something deep. Stephanie frowned. This doesn't smell like perfume. She shook her head. Maybe it takes time. She walked back into the party and waited. At first, nothing happened. Then suddenly, a man turned, then another, and another. They were looking at her. Stephanie's heart jumped. It's working! She stood taller, smiled, finally. But then she noticed something strange. Their faces were not normal. Their eyes looked wrong, too deep. And then the music stopped because something else has entered the yacht. Something that should not be there. At first, people thought it was a joke, a performance, some kind of entertainment until it spoke. My bride! The voice was thick, not human. Stephanie froze. The crowd slowly moved back. Standing at the center of the yacht was a figure, tall, crooked. Its skin looked like tree bark. Its eyes glowed like fire inside a cave, and it was staring directly at Stephanie. My bride, it said again, smiling in a way that made people step further away. Stephanie's leg went weak. No, no, this is not... The creature stepped closer. You called me. You sprayed a call, and I came. Stephanie shook her head violently. No, not you. I called rich men. Men. The creature laughed. I am rich in power. People started running. Some persons recorded. Whispers turned into fear. Kemi stood frozen, her face pale. The creature reached out his hand. You wanted to be chosen. Stephanie began to cry. This is not what I meant. But the creature's voice grew louder. Desire does not care about your meaning. It answers your hunger. Then it leaned closer. Your hunger was deep. Stephanie screamed. The entire yacht erupted into chaos. And in that moment, she understood. She was seen, but not in the way she wanted. Stephanie ran. She didn't even remember how she got off the yacht. All she knew was that she kept running until her legs could not move again. Back in the apartment, she collapsed on the floor. Kemi stood at the door, shaking. What was that thing? Stephanie could not answer. Tears kept falling. I just wanted one chance. Kemi sat down slowly. For the first time, there was no pride in her voice. No, she said softly. You wanted my life. Silence. Heavy silence. Stephanie looked up. I thought if I could just become you, my life would be better. I was jealous. Kemi shook her head. You don't know what it costs to be me, and you want to be me. That sentence hit harder than anything, because for the first time, Stephanie realized something. She never asked what Kemi went through. She only saw the result, not the process, not the pain. The next morning, Stephanie returned to Mama Ibe, angry, broken. You lied to me, you thief! Mama Ibe didn't move. I told you the truth. What truth? I asked for men, rich men, not a spirit. And you got one, Mama Ibe replied calmly. Stephanie froze. You asked to be seen, the woman continued. And now, attention is not always a blessing. Stephanie's voice broke. Please take this your medicine back. I don't need it anymore. Mama Ibe shook her head slowly. Lessons cannot be returned. Weeks passed. Life became quiet again. No yacht, no rich men, no magic. Just reality. But something had changed. Stephanie started waking up early. She found a small job at a shop. It wasn't big, but it was hers. One evening, as she washed plates the same way she used to, before everything changed, Kemi walked in and dropped food on the table. Come, she said, let's eat. Stephanie looked at her. Together? Kemi smiled. Yes, together. That word felt new. Stephanie sat down, and for the first time, the food tasted right. No bitterness, no jealousy, no comparison, just peace. Later that night, she stood in front of the mirror again. Same face, same body, but a different feeling. I am enough. I will never try that nonsense again, she whispered. And this time, she believed it. Outside, the night was calm. No voices, no shadows, because she had finally stopped calling for a life that wasn't hers and started building one that was hers. Moral lesson: when you chase someone else's life, you may attract things meant for them or worse things meant to destroy you. But when you choose yourself, even small things become enough. Thanks for staying with me till the end of this story. Hope you enjoyed the story. If you do, please don't forget to like, share to anyone who needs this. Do you think Stephanie went too far? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. And also subscribe to this channel. Turn on your bell notification so you get notified when an interesting and educating stories like this drops. See you in my next video.